Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 62 of the GuildMag podcast. I am Sandra, aka Miko, and I am joined today by Gord the Norn. Hi,
What's
Gord.
up, everybody?
How you doing, Gord?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to be here.
So, Valiant is off today, and so is Aaron, our usual people, but Gord's here. And Gord, for those of the Guild Wars 2 community who may not know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
That's impossible. I'm infamous. No, I am one of the hosts of the Shadow of the Dragon podcast. We're a bi-weekly audio podcast, and we cover everything from Guild Wars 2. We are kind of babies. We're just about coming up on our 1-year anniversary as the podcast. So
fantastic. I know you guys put on a good show, but you usually record your show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're audio only, so we have the ability to edit everything, all the mistakes out in post. So
so welcome to a live show.
yeah,
where we deal with things on the fly as they come. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. All
Thank
right. So to kick things off, we're going to start off with our gem store news as usual. Lots of Halloween stuff happening in Guild Wars 2 gem store. The ghostly outfit is available for 700 gems, and when it was implemented on Tuesday, it crashed out people's games.
Yeah.
Because of there was some glitch with the helm, but they did fix it. Have you seen this outfit?
I have not, no.
It's pretty neat. It's got this cool, I don't know how to even describe it. It's kind of spooky, smoky head thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that's like the best part of it, I think. So for people to have to hide it in order to fix it was kind of sad. But I'm glad they got it taken care of. What I didn't see though is it should be back up in the gem store. The last time I was in game, which was I think last night, I didn't actually see it, but I think it should be back in the gem store now. And someone in chat will correct me, I am sure.
Yeah.
So
I think I saw that on Reddit that it was fixed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that is back. And then they also have a new hovering Mad Mirror travel toy. It's like the flying carpet one, but it's Halloween-y themed, and that's available for 250 gems. Have you seen this?
I did, and that I might pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sweet. I like it.
Yeah, and it's cool that you get to like travel another little hover thingy, flying thingy for Halloween.
A town mount.
Town mount. Yeah, that's a good phrase. Town mount. I'm gonna have to remember that one. Okay, and also the Bloodstone Glider, which had been data mined about a week or so ago, that is now in for 500 gems.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen this one?
I did. I boycott glider skins though, but I did buy the Golem because it's so ridiculously huge on my Norn, so I had to buy that. But I mean, this one looks really cool. It is a nice one, but
yeah, I think I saw a couple of people on Twitter mentioning that they wish that it had some kind of bloodstone trail behind it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, so hey, it's all right.
Huh?
And they've also got some returning things. The Executioner's outfit is back. Mad King Finisher is back. So check out your O menu and see what else Halloween-y is there for people to purchase. All right. In community news, we've got Massively OP reported earlier this week that there is a petition by Guild Wars 1 players trying to petition ArenaNet for an HD remake. I know you have a lot to say about this.
I do.
What do you think?
I think that this is both a good idea and a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really great idea if it doesn't tap the current resources working on our Dual Dragon expansion that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's a bad idea if it does. As much as I would love to be able to play Guild Wars 2 or Guild Wars 1 and jump and dodge roll and see it, in beautiful graphics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to impact the game, the resources of the game and the content that's finally starting to come through in the Living Story and the upcoming expansion. So, I mean, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah.
But God, I wish I could. If this was like, if I won the lottery, I would just throw money at Anet and say, make this.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yeah. What I find really interesting about that is that the current Guild Wars 1 player base had gone to ArenaNet and they were like, well, if you guys can create a petition, we'll hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I found surprising because I kind of thought Guild Wars 1 from a development point of view was basically on autopilot.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I found it surprising that they would even entertain it, not shoot it down.
Yeah, this is what makes ArenaNet such a gem, because where other MMOs might shut down their older games,
mm-hmm.
when the sequel comes out, and ArenaNet has said and that they will always keep Guild Wars running and it will always be available, and it's like really huge. I actually have an alternate suggestion for this that might help.
Yeah. I
would suggest, rather than having Guild Wars make it, ArenaNet make an HD remix, why not maybe have an option to have a private server for Guild Wars 1 and allow modders to have at it?
That's an interesting proposal.
You could maybe charge, similar to a PvP arena, where
mm-hmm.
you could charge maybe a monthly fee for a private server. You don't have to give all the admin stuff. You don't have to tie it into the Guild Wars 1 achievements, but that would be a much beneficial way for people to be able to maybe pursue this.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know that they will. I know that they've kind of come out before and saying that they don't want to use private
mm-hmm.
servers, but that would be one way of handling it. Yeah, I'll be interested to see where this petition goes, if it goes anywhere. But I just liked that they were even able to, that they did come out and say, we'll hear you. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope we get it.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Which is an interesting little segue to today is actually the 10th anniversary of the release of the Nightfall campaign, Guild Wars Nightfall, and that shaman has updated his remastered maps from Guild Wars 1 and released them to or shared them with the Guild Wars 2 community. He's been sharing the remastered maps on the original Guild Wars subreddit for about the past 8 months. So he's always doing really interesting work, I think, with kind of charting the historical Tyria. I like his overlays of the Tyrian maps to show you where things have moved to how things have developed between the two games. So it's cool. I'm glad that he's around doing that stuff. But yeah, I can't believe it's been 10 years since Nightfall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you play the original as well?
I did. I played Guild Wars 1 from 2005 through 2008 religiously every night.
Mm-hmm.
Played all the campaigns and the Eye of the North expansion. So yeah, I like actually going through Guild Wars 2 and finding those spots. I saw a couple
mm-hmm.
Posts on Twitter today that somebody had put up with pictures from Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, just highlighting that stuff. And I usually go to that shaman's historical map quite a bit just to kind of see it, how the game's evolved and how things have changed. It's really cool.
Yeah. I kind of came late to the Guild Wars 1. To Guild Wars, I came late. I think I started playing in 2009 or 10. And without knowing anything about Guild Wars 2, I just started playing Guild Wars 1 and then just fell in love with it. Bought all of the campaigns, played through all of them, and then found out that Guild Wars 2 was coming out quite late again. I think I found out in like end of 2011, beginning of 2012. I was living in a bubble. I wasn't really paying attention to any community news or any of their social media. I was just playing the game. But Alona is special. So I'm glad to see that people are honoring that campaign.
Yeah. And that shaman does a really good job of highlighting that stuff, and just all the HD remixes he does on the maps. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And Guild Wars is the one game. I used to be a console gamer, so I played everything, and Guild Wars was the first game that made me stop buying other games. And that carried through to Guild Wars 2. So congratulations on 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And our final thing in community news is that Pink Day in LA happened over the weekend, and we had a lot of fun with this. We were doing some social media tweeting for them, and we wanted to let people know it is. If you don't know anything about it, I know we've been talking about it on the show for the past several weeks, but it is an event that raises money for the Canadian Cancer Society for cancer research, and donations are still open. They will be open until November 1st, so you still have time to get in there and donate. You can find all of their information at pinkday.gamergivingback.com. I'm just checking their total raised so far is at $6,703, and they want to raise $13,370 this year. So if you can support, donate to a good cause, please go ahead and support them. Last year they raised $15,000, which was pretty cool that the Guild Wars 2 community would come and support this cause every year as they do. This event has been running since Guild Wars 1. So get out there and donate to Pink Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so that ends our news section. We do have, so we start talking about our main things. The one thing that happened last week, right after our show, was that Halloween got fixed.
Yes.
So that was really cool to see Mo come out and address all of the concerns that players had about the nerfing of the bosses, the diminishing returns. Have you been in playing the Labyrinth?
That is all I've been doing.
Really?
Is Labyrinth. Yeah,
awesome.
I really didn't mind the diminishing returns at first. And I mean, you can the way I saw it when I first jumped in on Tuesday night, I was getting, after about an hour, I think I had 130 bags or so, which isn't as much as you usually get, but it was more of the fun that I was having with our guild, because we kind of just went in and took over a map, and we're just running around and joking and having fun. I was happy to see that they reverted. What I was more upset about was the savage nerf of the Labyrinthian Horror and the Skeletal Lich. I was like, what happened?
Exactly.
And we kind of were theorizing in our group that maybe it was the power creep, or whatever you want to call it. We just got stronger, but no. I mean, I'm sure we all would have liked to think that we got better and stronger as players, but it wasn't that. But it was nice that they went in and fixed it. I think it's much more balanced now, and we kind of touched on this on our last show. Where it used to be frowned upon to open the door with Skeletal Lich, because it was just so impossible to beat him last year. And then, not to mention if the Labyrinthian Horror came through while you're trying to do it. So
it was basically like an insta wipe.
Yeah, it was Zerg killer. So it's nicer now, and the amount of bags I'm getting is makes me very happy.
Right.
So I think it's in a really good place now.
Yeah, I saw that Cora finally got her Mad King shield.
Yes.
Skin that she'd been wanting to get.
Yes, you're welcome, Cora.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. I'm glad that they did that. I know that the labyrinth is one place that you just always have a ton of fun in.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked seeing when leaderless or commanderless maps kind of organize on the spot, and we'll just start forming a little Zerg up, even if no one's popped their tag.
Yeah.
It can
Well,
be
I
so
like,
much fun.
we've been known to, if you have a big enough Zerg, you shake it up a little bit. You do armorless runs or nude runs, we call them. Where nobody's wearing armor. You just have your loot stick in hand and go at it, see how far how far you can get before a group wipe or something like that. So there's a lot of different things I've seen done in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I saw on Reddit last week that someone had shared a guide on commanding the labyrinth.
Yes.
And if you guys haven't checked that out, it is up on Reddit. I'll see if I can find it and get the link into the show notes. Because I actually don't have it in the show notes here today. But yeah, I think I had it last week, and then we forgot to talk about it. But yeah, so I'm glad that Halloween is fixed.
Yeah, and I've had some really good experiences jumping in to some pug maps, I'll call it, because I was solo. But there's a lot of good commanders. So and there's just under a week left, I think, to the event.
Yes, it should be until November 1st.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I know. Wow, Halloween is coming up on Monday.
I know.
That'll be fun. Gotta go
I'm
get my
hoping
candy.
it's not snowing here.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say, and I've lost it. All right. It's okay. Oh, I was going to ask you if you've tried the jumping puzzle, the clock tower. Are you a big jumper?
I am, but for some reason I cannot do that, and it's actually how I got my Twitter handle, because of the first year it came out, my friend wanted me to start a YouTube channel called Gord the Norn.
No, okay.
Of me trying to do this jumping puzzle because I'm so horrible at it.
Right.
And though I did beat it once with some heavy coaching, but I don't attempt it. There's some things that I just don't do in game, and that's one of them.
Yeah. I haven't tried the clock tower in, I want to say, at least a year.
Yeah.
Maybe more. I'm a terrible jumper, and I get frustrated really easily.
Yeah, same here.
So clock tower is one that I'll go in, I'll go far, or I'll hit a certain point, and then it's like I can't go further, and I just keep dying. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not having fun. Let's go do something else. Let's go to the labyrinth. Yeah.
Have you tried the dungeon with the Mad King? I forgot what it's
Madness?
called. That's it. Yes.
I have not run that one yet.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I've been super busy, so
yeah.
My evening game time has been kind of cut down the past week or so. But I want to get into that one. I've been hearing that. I'm glad to see that it's back, first of all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to even remember if I ran it when it was first originally out, and I cannot recall if I did or not.
I did in year one. I think year one it was out, and then it didn't release. I think it came back in 2015.
Yeah.
Last year.
And everyone was doing Heart of Thorns, which is probably why I didn't even realize it had been back.
Yeah. So, I recommend getting in there. I got the. I'm so horrible. I forget the name of the weapon, but it was one of the new exotics. Not the hammer, the one that's kind of chains.
Mm-hmm.
I got that one, whatever the name is. I play Guild Wars 2, and I host a podcast.
It's okay. I never remember the weapon names either. It's fine. Yeah, but I'm glad that they added some things from the new loot tables in there.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, the hammer was awesome. It's just a shame because I crafted Juggernaut.
Right.
So every one of my tunes that uses a hammer uses Juggernaut, the Juggernaut skin. So. Except for my scrapper, every time I change maps, I change hammer skins, and every time I'm playing Fractals, if I play Fractals with him, I'll change hammer skins. So, kind of my fun little game.
Right on. I like Juggernaut. I just like seeing the transformation into basically liquid silver.
Yeah, yeah.
That is one legendary that I would love to have, but I don't play hammer on pretty much anyone, I think. But yeah, I'm going to have to find a tune that I'm just going to dedicate as being my hammer person just to do that one.
Yeah.
All right. And of course, the balance changes that came in. Now, I wanted to ask you about this since you're our guest this week. Since I know that you play all of our game modes here, and
Yes.
you had some interesting things. Like last week, we had inks on, and the three of us we were basically focusing on PvE and the effect on raids, since we all raid. And we were all a bit, sad about the whole changes to the comp makeup and having to go 5/5 as becoming meta. So what are your takes on our balance?
All right, so I'm going to preface everything that I say right now with, in my opinion.
Yes.
So this is just in my opinion. I was quite opinionated about the balance change, and I did not see... I really do feel that Anet should balance the 3 game modes separately, because there's too many times, and it's usually PvE and specifically raiding, that kind of gets the wrong end of the stick when it comes to that stuff. But looking from a WW standpoint, I was so happy with this. I was so happy to see the nerf to the boon sharing.
Signet of Inspiration.
Yeah, Signet of Inspiration. I didn't even understand it. When I WW, I still play a frontline shout warrior. I'm very tanky. I stack toughness, run hammer with a warhorn and a sword. And my sole job is to be a wall. And I'm good at that job. But with all this boon sharing and stuff, and I didn't even understand it. I'm not a min-maxer at all, so I didn't even understand what was happening. All I knew is I saw a bunch of Necros, a couple Guardians, and a few Mesmers just eat my face in WW, and I had no idea what was going on. I did a little bit of research on it. We tried to play some counter plays, and it didn't quite work out. I think, and this was not the sole problem in WW. There are some other things that need some attention in WW right now, but that didn't help, and it really made the game mode unfun for me to the point where I lost interest in commanding in my guild, and I actually stopped playing WW for a couple weeks, because it was just... You either had to play a boon sharing team build, which our guild, I'm not in a big guild. We're very not small. We're kind of a medium sized guild, and we're all kind of set in our ways, and we're very lax. None of us are min maxers. We rarely ever will play a meta build, and we just go out and have fun. And it was just really getting to a point where our group couldn't survive. We typically will play a Havoc team build where we'll run out and we'll either we'll grab camps, we'll grab towers, we'll back up medium-sized Zergs in the map, or even the main pin. We'll help defend assets if we need to. But mainly we run and gun, and what was happening was there would be 15 of us in a group, and you have an 8-man group come by running a boon sharing build, and they would just mop us up, and we're high DPS with a couple of tanks, myself being one, just to kind of slow them down, back them off, and enough for us to get away and complete an objective. But it just became completely impossible for our group to do it. And I'm not saying that's what was everybody's experience in WW, but at least for me, that was my experience. And for me, I thought that the balance, don't get me wrong, there were some nerfs that I wish didn't happen.
Right. But
to me, overall, for as far as for WW, it was needed. The boon sharing had no place in WW, and it was really causing some problems on the map. Yeah. So that's just my honest opinion.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. I'm glad to get another perspective, from a player who has been engaged in a different game mode for as long as you have. Yeah. I don't world reworld all that often. And when I do, I usually go in on a mesmer.
Yeah.
Because, you can get those quick escapes if need be. I'm a terrible PvPer. But, Signet of Inspiration was such a strong skill.
Yeah.
It's sad. Now, one of the things that we talked about was should Guild Wars 2, should ArenaNet start having skill splits more between the game modes?
Remembering my caveat, in my opinion.
And yes.
Absolutely. And to put it bluntly, if you did not want to balance 3 different game modes, you should not have made 3 different game modes.
Yeah, this is something that I've always said too.
It's just my honest opinion. PvP should be separate from WW. There's a little bit more synergy there. Because it's WW is large scale PvP with fun strategic adders, but I really tried to be empathetic of raiders. I've only raided once, and we've managed to get Veil Guardian down to the second phase 2 times, and then we gave up. And it was a lot of fun. I could see the fun in it, but as much as I don't think it was fair that people who were raiding suffered from this balance build or skill balance, it was I don't know.
Yeah.
It was more needed for WW in my opinion.
Right.
But bring it back. Yeah, definitely. All 3 game modes should be balanced separately. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here.
Okay.
It's the same thing with armors. You made 5 races.
Yeah.
You should be able to make good armor for all 5 races in your game. It's the same thing with the skill balance, and I don't think that it's fair. A change needed in WW should not affect PvP, and I really do feel that. But I'm glad you did it, Anet.
Yeah. Well, we've seen this week a couple of the raiders that are big min-maxers in the community. I think it was Brazil. Brazil had a video out. Nike from DNT had a video out on Metapocalypse. Mighty Teapot put out a video just about an hour or so ago saying, Metapocalypse is a lie. So it's just interesting to see, how people are responding, and still waiting to see how the meta in raids, for example, shake out. We've got to adjust. This is our reality now. We can gripe, but this is our reality now. Let's make adjustments and move on.
Well, the good thing about it is there's a group of players or a percentage of the population of the game that's really, really good at making these completely optimized builds for raiding. And the way I see it, they have a chance to make a new one. I think the patch wasn't even 12 hours old, and there was already a new Mesmer build that gave 70% uptime to quickness, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, as much as I know, but.
Well, thank you for sharing your opinion. I appreciate it. So let's talk. We're going to spend the rest of the time talking about this call for feedback from players that ArenaNet put out earlier this week for material storage changes. So please put your comments in chat. We are reading both chats, and we'd love to incorporate what you guys have to say on material storage into our conversation here. So I think it was Monday, ArenaNet put out a couple of posts on, one post out in the official forums. Lindsay Murdoch posted asking players to, what for their feedback on what we want. What do we want to be added to material storage? Because let's be serious here. How many of you guys have stacks of crafting mats or other things clogging up your inventory, clogging up your shared inventory, your bank slots? Yeah, I think it's everyone. So the one thing that I'm taking out of this is one, thank you for asking us for our input. And how is this? What do you think? What are the someone's got a Reddit thread up. I'm trying to find where it is now. I've got so many tabs open. But yeah, someone has crowdsourced on Reddit a list of everything that has been pitched by players and things that Lindsay has come out and said, absolutely not, we cannot do that. So what do you think, Gord? What do you think about these suggestions so far? We've got
blade shards.
Blade shards. Yes. I will be honest. I've got that. I think they come off of the sprocket mine node.
Yes. Yeah.
In my home instance, I've already got my blade backpack, so I just delete them.
I have all this stuff. I have a second account, and I was thinking of kind of moving it over there and letting them build one, but
are they tradable? I thought they were not.
I don't know if they are.
I thought they were account bound, so I think that's probably why I was deleting them. But yeah, blade shards, tenebrous crystals. These are mined from your guild mining nodes. Yeah. I think you can use it. Tailors will use them, leatherworkers, so it's for armor, for guild armor specifically. Yeah. Yes, please. What else? What else caught your eye about some of the suggestions?
I mean, really, the vision crystals. I feel like anything that is used for crafting, and I think Lindsay had said this at some point or some form of this, but anything used for crafting should be a storable material, including all the scribing stuff that you get or make. I have, I think, 2 bank tabs full of scribing stuff, and I'm only a 195 for my scribe, so it's just a ton of stuff. Anything like that should be in there.
I was actually surprised. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, that's okay.
I was going to say that I was surprised that more of the scribing crafting materials weren't put into the material storage when Heart of Thorns came over.
I don't know if they wanted to help fill up guild storage. Maybe I like to think that that's what they were thinking. But I mean, who knows? I was really surprised that wasn't included as well.
Yeah. And Jaquan in GuildMag chat says you should be able to store an unlimited amount of mats in your material storage.
Wow.
I know the default cap is 250, stack of 250, just like in your inventory. But you can upgrade these with the storage expanders that you can get out of the gem store.
Yeah, I have mine maxed to 2,000.
Which is the actual cap.
Yeah, that's the cap right now. I mean, I don't think that you should be able to store an unlimited amount of materials. Just because you would have people kind of forget about stuff. I would be one of those people. You just keep throwing stuff in there and you forget about it, and it does affect the economy. So you do have to think about the economy and how to balance that in with these things too. Yeah,
that's a good point, because one of the things that a recurring comment that we hear from John Smith, the ArenaNet economist,
which is not his real name.
I would. Would you use your real name? I think.
No, probably not.
I mean, the amount of poor guy. He's got this job, and everyone just hates on him anytime he says anything. Yeah, so I totally get the pseudonym, but yeah, has mentioned that people are hoarding leather as one of the things as an example. So yeah, how would that affect it if people just keep holding on to things? It wouldn't be good. We'd probably be paying more for stuff.
I mean, it causes a unrealistic inflation, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot of this stuff. So I don't know. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I'm hoarding leather too, Jaquan.
I think we probably all are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't see anything on this Reddit list, I don't see anything that I don't agree with. I know Lindsay Murdoch had said that there's no way that we're going to get runes or sigils inside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I agree with that. I think I would like to see, and I mean, it's okay if we don't get this. It's not critical, but things like the musical instruments. I have some backpacks that I can't store in or put into the storage that I'd like to get out of my or put into the wardrobe, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get out of my storage.
Right.
A lot of the cooking mats, chef mats that you have don't go to storage.
Piles of salt and pepper.
Yes. So I mean, a lot of stuff like that. Black line tickets and scraps. I mean, it's only two, and also the Bloodstone rubies and the petrified wood. I bought all, I think 10. I think I have 11 of the shared inventory slots because right now that's my key ring.
Right.
Hint, hint. Anet, hint, hint.
Yeah. We really want this.
But then I have to keep my Bloodstone rubies in there, and I have to keep my petrified wood in there. And I try to keep a couple boosters on me at all times, just in case, because you don't know when you're going to need a boost.
Yep.
But you know, that is a little annoying. You know, the Bloodstone rubies and the petrified wood should at the very least be in the wallet, or should be automatically a material that can be stored.
Yeah, the thing is with because it's those are two that are in an interesting place since they are both currencies as well, and can be salvaged. But pristine fractals made it into the wallet, and they can both be, I believe, salvaged and used as currency. So
yes.
Yeah, I think the problem is, I saw someone pointing out on Reddit that the problem is that they can be salvaged into varying amounts of unbound magic, which is probably why they didn't get put into the wallet. So if you stabilize that or normalize what it can get salvaged into, then it should be easier to add to the wallet. I think, too, we've got to talk about what is going to be the impact, or what could be a potential impact to ArenaNet's economy.
Yes.
If they allow higher caps, for example, because you've got right now, on the gem store, you can get bag slot, right? Yeah, inventory bag slots, additional ones. You can increase the stat cap of your material storage up to 2,000, and you can bank slots, right?
Yeah. So
I don't know if people would stop buying if they can just store things in there.
I have all the bank slots, and I can use or the bank tabs, and I could probably use 8 more with the amount of stuff that I have. That's actually not materials. I have ascended armor sets, that I switch around. I have a bunch of ascended weapons that I'll switch around. Right. I have a lot of stuff. I have a ton of boosters and everything else that comes through. So I'll always have that, and then I have overflow because I hoard not only silk and leather, but I also have tons of dragonite ore. I have tons of bloodstone dust and imperial fragments that I'm not gonna just throw away once I'm done with 2K. So I probably could use 8K more. I have 2 mules right now.
Right.
So it'd be nice to actually move that stuff into my bank and keep it there.
And then use the mules for something else.
Yeah, I mean, I still have stuff from Dragon Bash 2 years ago.
Wow.
I have Zaitan candies and stuff like that. I have a metric ton of Halloween stuff.
You're right.
Sharpening stones. And I'll probably never use this stuff, but I don't like getting away from stuff. I have all the books from the legendaries I made. I have all the, I don't even know what to call them, like balanced hilt and weighted blade from crafting dusk and all that stuff that I'm afraid to get rid of. All the stuff from Ad Infinitum. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough. I gotta tickle my throat. Excuse me.
It's okay. I think we're actually. I want to make sure, chat, if you could let me know whether or not we've lost our feed. Have we lost our feed? No, I think we're okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started getting some stuttering happening on my end, so I didn't know. I wanted to make sure that we were still running. Yeah. Okay, so we're good.
So, yeah. I got a huge tickle in my throat, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I know. I know how it goes. Yeah.
But anyway, there's plenty of things, armors, weapons, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That we could use. So I would buy more.
Or even the things that don't stack in the bank slots. Like I've got, for example, I don't know how many times I've run the Heart of Thorns story, and you know how you get, at the end of Hearts and Mind, you get Calibolg? Yeah, they do not stack.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, they don't stack on each other when you put them in your bank. Yeah. So I've got one in each individual. So it's like, come on. I would just want to put you in a stack. But, whatever. It's weapons. I can see why they don't stack, but still.
I'm really bad. I still have my original Mad King books from 3 years ago that I won't get rid of. I have my original I think in early access. You got a ball cap and a Guild Wars 2 baseball cap, and I still have that on a mule somewhere. I mean, I could probably get rid of it. I have the skin.
Yeah, because you can add it to the wardrobe now.
And it is in my wardrobe, but I also
you have the actual physical one. Yeah, I have a couple of the same thing with some skins. So yeah, I think, for example, for bank tabs, I think people will always just keep buying them because we just hoard things.
Yeah, I'm bad at it. Well, I mean, I have all the old Winter's Day decorations still, the fancy ornaments and stuff. Mm-hmm. I have the letter from the children in Lion's Arch from when we rescued that. I won't get rid of it. It's special to me.
And those were consumables. Weren't those letters consumable for like karma?
They were, but I have like 2.5 mil karma. So
I know.
I don't need it.
Yeah.
So it's just special to me. So yeah, I mean, I think we could still get some things. I think it would still be good for Anet, I should say, to move this stuff, but. We want the world as players. We do have to remember that there's something else behind it too. And ArenaNet does have to protect the economy, and we don't want to get into a situation like with Mystic Coins where, Mystic Coins are out of whack right now. Mm-hmm. But it's because so many are being hoarded that ArenaNet doesn't want to do anything. So, or at least that's the story we got.
Yeah, and I know I'm guilty of hoarding the Mystic Coins because I don't ever use them. They just sit there,
See, I'm the opposite. I'm working on my 9th legendary weapon, so I always need them, but I won't buy them.
Right.
So whenever I get them, I hoard them.
Right. Yeah, and you can use them now also for some guild hall upgrades. So, I mean, so my stash, like part of my stash, they will go towards my guild hall or when I crafted Twilight and I needed some in there. But otherwise I forget about them.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. I think when we mentioned keys and one of the inevitable parts of this discussion is that there's a new renewed call for a key ring.
Yes.
Because we've got an enormous amount of keys, and they will clog up our inventories. I know, or even so much. I wondered. Yesterday, I went into where was I? I was in Verdant Brink, and I went up to in one of those airship cargo things to loot it, and my character actually didn't have any crowbars on her, and I was like, "What happened to my crowbars?" And I think I moved them to somebody else.
Yeah.
But even having those be somewhere, I don't know if we could probably put them in a wallet or something.
That'd be an easy fix to just put it in the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
At least to me.
Yeah.
I don't build games, but it's easy to me.
That's a good point. You know, we like you said, we ask for the world, and not everyone understands, you know, what goes in, the work that goes in behind it, behind building that world.
Yeah.
So keyring, what are your thoughts on keyring other than it would be nice? I mean, you've got all these shared inventory slots. What would you do with your shared inventory slots if you didn't have to fill them up with keys?
I would put my my unbreakable salvage or mining tools. I would keep my boosters in there. I mean, I could fill it with something.
Right.
You know, it's, and if you're looking at somebody who doesn't have those shared inventory slots, you know, that's really not good for them, because I've done that where I've like my shared mining picks or my unbreakable mining picks. I have to remember when I'm done playing to go back to my storage, take them out, put them into storage, so that when the next guy, in my next tune, when I play with them, they're available for them. And if I don't do that, then I have to remember which tune it's on, you know. And I mean, it's really annoying. The shared inventory slots do solve that, but they're expensive.
Yeah,
I think they're 750 gems per, which is almost $10 per shared inventory slot.
Right.
So it's expensive. I mean, if we're going to have all these keys, I mean, just from Heart of Thorns, we have 4 separate keys, one for each map. And looking at Ember Bay and Bloodstone Fen, it looks like each map that's coming from is going to have a separate currency with possibly a separate key for a separate treasure chest or whatever. And if you're going to do that, then we should have a key ring, just to make it a little bit easier on the players.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if you don't remember to move things from one character to another, you're gonna have to say either remember which character you left them on, go through all your characters, or just, you know, start collecting more on a new person, which is, you know, not optimal.
It's not. I mean, you can do it.
I mean, that's basically what we're living with right now.
I mean, but why should you?
Yeah.
You know, it would be nice to have that where you just set it and forget it. You know, it's just there. You don't have to worry about it. You know, you have to keep an eye on it to make sure you have enough of the keys if you want them. But you know, and if that's something that they put in the gem shop at around 500 gems, I wouldn't be mad about that. Right. I would buy that.
Yeah. That's an interesting way of implementing it. If you don't want to make it account wide, put it in the gem store. One of the things that Lindsay Murdoch mentioned in, I forget which of the threads, was that they know workarounds to, I think it was to get their keyring in, but it's a matter of people being busy with other things like the expansion. So do we want to take them off from working on what they're doing to put them to do something else to do with this material storage or inventory management, bank management stuff? I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, I understand that, you know, making sure that you're maximizing your human capital, basically, and that they're working on what needs to be worked on. I think, would we rather have a key ring or would we rather have new content to play?
I would rather have a new key ring in a new expansion. I mean, for me, I can wait. If you got to think that the expansion is probably 9 months to a year out. You're at the high end. I don't even think it's that far out. I'm thinking we'll probably have an announcement within the next 6 months. Now, maybe I'm just being the optimist, but we're going to have something soon. We're moving forward with the story, and I do expect something soon. So if they just said, hey, you guys are going to get a key ring, but it's not coming until the expansion, I'd be okay with that. Right. I can live with it till then. You know, I think it's just another one of those things where a little bit of communication would go a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I'll be interested to see where this goes where this conversation or crowdsourced feedback goes, and how long. I haven't seen any posts from her where she's said how long it'll take to get these changes put in, but I'm going to assume it's going to be several months.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to take the time to code everything up and before they can even bring it in.
Yeah. And I just want to take a quick second on behalf of everybody, because I'm sure we're all thinking this, but not everybody has said it. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for doing this.
Absolutely.
This is so cool. And, I'm sure everybody appreciates it. And it's just the excitement of, this is what we want in material storage, but, this is definitely appreciated.
Absolutely. I'm glad that they are, they're taking the time to get our input, and even just to show it's a nice little way to show your community that you care, and this quality of life update is something that they want as well. And they're players as well, so they've got the same problems. They've got their inventories all chock full of stuff. So it's good. I'm glad that they're listening and encouraging conversation with us. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about material storage?
Well, I mean, I think this is really good. And like I said, going through the list on Reddit right now, what I'm seeing on the Reddit list is really, I don't disagree with any of it. And I think it's been a pretty good process so far.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So just to move on, we've got we've got about 8 minutes left. We'll touch on some little fluffy things that we've seen come across our Reddit subreddit in the community, talking about I think this was last week. Someone had posted on Reddit a what could we do with essences of luck, because right now if you salvage a lot of things you will get essence of luck. If you're not putting them in towards guild hall upgrades or toward your magic find percentage, what do you do with this extra luck? It's going to still be clogging up your bank tabs.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes to this idea of the material storage, but what could we do with it? And someone started a thread on Reddit, and a lot of people started sharing ideas of what could we do with luck. Could we put them into crafting recipes? Could we put them into other things to use them as currency, kind of like a karma sink? And I've put that link to that conversation in our Twitch chat in GuildMag. But I found this interesting because it is one of these, that's a thing. I'm coming up on, I think I'm coming up on 200% magic find. So eventually I'm going to hit that 300% cap. So what am I going to do with this? Am I just going to delete it? Kind of seems like a shame to delete it. So what are your thoughts on this, Gord?
2 conversions to amalgamated lodestones.
Okay.
Or gemstones, or even if it's 2-3 stacks of them, I don't care. Take my essences. Either that or mystic clovers. So we either don't have to go through the rigmarole and the grind of getting the amalgamated gemstones, or we don't have to go through the RNG of getting the mystic clovers. Even if it was limited, like you can only craft 10 mystic clovers, per recipe, per legendary recipe that you do. I'd love to see that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it seems like a good thematic fit also. I just found it was the idea of using them as crafting material. We'd obviously then have to put them in material storage with this update. But yeah, if that could happen, this would be fun. Think of all of the things that we could... I mean, who would we put it on, though? Would it be a scribe thing? Would it just be a...
yeah.
We're not going to... Well, it's artificers that can work with them now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it could be an artificer recipe, or... I'd rather stay away from recipes and just do a flat. Here's 500, to the
Mystic
luck
Forge.
bender.
Okay.
I like this idea. I just saw 250 exotic luck plus 250 exotic love plus 10 mystic clovers and 25 mystic coins. You get a 25% luck booster.
Yeah.
It stacks up to 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that recipe would yield. Hopefully 10 to 20 would make it worth it. But, something like that, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they'd have to be different kind of boosters than what you can get out of the gem store.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Because I don't think ArenaNet would want to start impacting the booster sales out of the gem store. Or even what you can get out of Black Lion chests. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something like that. Even if it was a fun, a fun 4-leaf clover back piece or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is something, or convert it to your favorite currency. Since there's so many currencies out there, you can trade in one stack for 10 of Bloodstone rubies.
Right. Yeah, that would be a neat way to just do currency conversion. Make it something that people can actually use rather than destroy. Yep. So I just wanted to throw that little fluffy thing out there.
All right.
Yeah. Well, we have almost reached the end of our hour here. So, as we get ready to say goodbye to all of our viewers, Gord, can you tell good folks on Twitch where they can find you, and Twitter, because this will be going up on, not Twitter, YouTube, because this will be going up on our YouTube channel.
You can follow me at Gord the Norn. It's just Gord the Norn on Twitter. You can find our podcast on Twitter as well. That's SOTD_podcast. And quick shout out to my co-host Cora, who's also at Guildlores on Twitter, and Gallios, who's at Gallios GW2 on Twitter. We also have a website for the podcast. It's sotdpodcastblog.wordpress.com, and we're available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Plus, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah. Oh, iHeartRadio. Look at that. I will make sure that we get all of those links into our show notes for ease of finding for everyone who wants to check out Shadow the Dragon. I do recommend that you check them out. They are bi-weekly, and they put a good show together.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And on things GuildMag side, we have another website update. Our podcast feed has been updated. So all of our backlog of podcasts that were missing after our website went down, they are back up now on the site. So iTunes feeds should be updated. Google Play feeds should be updated. We should be updated everywhere. Yeah, and don't forget that our podcast time, we've got a little switcheroo happening in the UK. You are coming out of British summertime and going back into GMT. So our podcast will still stay at 9 p.m. GMT for you, and we'll still be here at 2 p.m. Pacific in the US for another week before we also lose out on daylight savings. For those of you who have been following our streams, I was supposed to start streaming again this week, but my computer, which is actually running right now, is still not stable. I'm not sure what they fixed on my motherboard that whatever it was, it has not stabilized the system. So I'm going through some firmware checks just to rule that out. And so stay tuned to GuildMag social media for any updates. I would love to start streaming again next week, but I cannot promise you anything right now, sadly. But we will be back next week right here at twitch.tv/GuildMag with another episode of the GuildMag podcast. We'll be post-Halloween. We'll be November 1st. Or not 1st, 4th, I think. So I don't know what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about something Guild Wars 2. So please come out and join us. And thank you to everyone who's joined us live in chat. We do appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.